You are listening to The Guide, entertainment.ie's weekly TV podcast with Fiona Flynn and David O'Shaughnessy.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of entertainment.ie's TV weekly podcast called The Guide. I'm here with our deputy editor, David O'Shaughnessy.
Hello.
And I'm TV editor, Fiona Flynn. And each week we go through some of the best TV shows that people are talking about, or that we're talking about, really.
Mostly, yeah. That people should be talking about.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. So this one, or this week, is the big focus is on Netflix's new original TV series called Narcos.
Narcos?
Narcos. Oh God,
I don't know.
I said it wrong.
Is it kind of like because they're narcotics,
Narcos,
like narcotics?
Yeah,
so.
I know, because they're narcos. Yeah, I did know that.
But like it's like you narc.
No, I it's so funny. I knew it, and then in my head kept thinking I must call it Narcos, and then under pressure there, I said Narcos.
Yeah.
Like it was some sort of
like
fancy drink that you take.
Or Scandinavian clothing brand.
Yeah. Well, now that we've established it's called Narcos. Bleeding Narcos.
Bleeding.
So.
I thought we said no more impressions.
No more impressions. No more impressions.
Yeah.
So I guess, what did you think of it? What did I think of it? What did we all think of it?
Well, I was really before I get a guide to what it idea
I
to what
suppose
it is.
first off, let's just tell people what it is, because it's...
If you don't have Netflix, you might not know.
Exactly, yeah. So Narcos then, it's the clue's in the title, I guess, but yeah, it is about Pablo Escobar, who was, obviously a massive drug lord back in...
the king of cocaine, he was called in the 80s and 90s.
He was responsible for like 80% of the cocaine that came into America back then.
Yeah.
So it's all about his story, which we've seen kind of a few times in different forms. I know...
Different media, yeah.
Benito del Toro played him in a movie, I can't remember when it was The Two Escobars or something like that. So his story has been told, and he is, I can see you.
That's fluff. I'm blowing away fluff.
Blowing away fluff, I know. So essentially, yeah, it is his story, but it's told through the eyes, I guess, of the DEA agent who was sort of tracking him down since the beginning.
Is this an official DEA agent? Like, is this his, does this guy exist, or is this like a fictionalized character that we're being used to see through his eyes?
I think it is. I mean, I'm sure there was a DEA agent that tracked him down.
Yeah, I'm sure there were plenty.
Also, the answer to that question is I do not know.
I know, but I suppose it's going to be like a band of brothers reveal at the end of the series, I suppose, where it's like, and here is the guy sitting in his chair being like, I caught Pablo Escobar. Or...
I assume, I think
it's a fictionalized window.
It's a fictionalized story of what is a
They say at the start, they disclaim at the start that it's like a real story, but they've changed names, blah, 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 but it's still Pablo Escobar. And it's
there's still a lot of historic footage used in it, like
which
legitimate
is
stuff. So.
Confusing at times.
Yeah,
but,
exactly. It's a little jarring. So we both watched the first episode because we didn't want to get too far ahead, so there wasn't any mad spoilers.
Yeah,
so we're not
first impressions.
Yeah, exactly.
Really.
So our first impressions of it... and I've just watched it, so I'm buzzed. So you've had some time to digest it. So
Yeah,
I was going to say I'll let you.
You let me go first?
Yeah, I'll let you go first.
Okay.
I've just waffled on about Narcos. So I think I'm done.
I enjoyed it. I was really surprised to find myself enjoying it because from the outset and from the kind of ads for it and what I've heard about it, I really thought I wasn't going to like it because it actually hits off loads of genre tropes and things that I do not like. Like it's a period kind of piece, so it's set in a time you're kind of like, oh, look at everyone being all 80s, and if sometimes when the wardrobe isn't good, you just end up hating it, or you're looking for things that they didn't have then, and you're like, oh, that was such a lazy kind of art direction or choice of production. And it's a gangster thing, which I don't really like. Sometimes there's lots of violence. I don't particularly like that. There's subtitles because the majority of it is in Spanish, and not that I don't like subtitles, but
you want a lot to handle, Dave.
It's a lot to handle. Sometimes you just want to sit and chill.
I know.
You don't have to concentrate on words. Yeah. And there's loads of characters and loads of names to try and get the grips on. Immediately, it's almost like Game of Thrones in terms of here's this person, here's this person, here's this person. You don't know what it's talking about. But having said all of that, I was within 15 minutes, I was hooked and dragged me right in. So it did blow all my expectations away in terms of making me like something I thought I should hate on paper.
Yeah.
So,
because even when we were saying this week that we'd do this in the podcast, and neither of us had watched it, and I think we kind of both were like, yes, this is the show that we should
probably try and watch.
It's one of those really, really good, heavy, police shows and that's what I kind of thought going into it as well. I thought it was going to be one of those shows that I was sort of, I'd have to like it and I'll watch it all the way through. And obviously people will love it and people will hate it. But I just thought it would be a bit heavy and a bit too
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. As you said, there's subtitles which we could both handle. We can read. Yeah. It's fine. But I know what you mean. You kind of do have to stay completely focused on it. And I also think after watching sort of the last big series that people were talking about and that we were talking about, True Detective, it was just so much easier to follow from the word go. It was such a breath of fresh air in that it was like, I understand what's happening. And the voiceover guy coming in a lot. Sometimes he's almost pointing out the obvious.
Yeah.
Like, okay, didn't need you to speak there. Nice
Exactly.
DEA
Yeah.
agent. But at the same time, I also found it really helpful especially in the first episode where they're setting up all these different characters. And it is a lot to follow. And I was like, this could have been pretty confusing if you didn't have our helpful DEA agent saying this is what's happening.
Yeah.
And also putting the story into an historical context.
Exactly.
Of saying something's happening here, but down the line we'll realize that this is the consequence of this one action. Like
showing us Peru and showing us Colombia and showing us like America and showing us Reagan and showing the effects of it across the thing and how it really like framed what happened with Pablo Escobar.
Yeah.
And everything like that. So yeah, no, it's done really well. Yes, the voiceover is heavy-handed. I do think your man is a bit like, I don't know. I'm not like, there's no one I'm like pulling for. Like, obviously you can't be like, oh, I really want Pablo Escobar to do well in it. But for some reason, like, there's such a draw to him. I think it's down to the actor. His name is like Wagner Moura, I think his name is.
Yeah, the Brazilian actor.
Yeah, who is just compelling to watch. It's
so
like a
good.
still performance, but he's amazing.
He's so menacing, but like totally not like melodramatic about it. He just sort of, he has one of those faces that you're gripped. You want to see his reaction the whole time, but it's never too much. He's never sort of,
It's not love-hate.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, he's so intimidating, and yet you can see that he has that sort of, gangster charm about him. Like, he calls him a family man in the voiceover thing, and he has so much kind of charisma going on for him, but at the same time he's obviously brutal and got to where he was because he essentially killed thousands and thousands of people, just got what he wanted. But at the same time you're like, not that I'm rooting for him, I'm only episode in, but I could see how we could slowly start kind of being sympathetic towards, not even sympathetic towards him, but almost root for him a little bit. Charismatic enough to
it's that thing with like heist movies where the person. Well, in heist movies, they always said it's like, oh, they need to like save their daughter or they need to reclaim their honor or something like that. So it's always a Hollywood setup. But in this, you're like, it's a heist thing where you're like, you want to see them get one over on someone else. Yeah. Then you also want to see, like, obviously the DEA and everyone stop them because he's murdering countless people. And as it says in the first episode, it's like he was responsible for like thousands of murders of like even policemen in Colombia. Like Pablo Escobar is one of the greatest criminals of all time. So he can't be like, come on, Pablo.
Yeah.
Like, you're never going to be like that.
No.
But they handle it in a dramatic way because watch a show, you'd never watch something for an hour as a go and 10 episodes of it if you're going to hate the person.
Yeah.
But it's a very fine line that he walks, and he's very good at doing it.
Yeah. Or I also liked at the end how the DEA agent said we went because we thought we were fighting a war. Basically, again, it's not too many spoilers.
Yeah, the war on drugs.
But and then at the end, he's kind of basically pointing out that kind of I guess how the viewer feels there is no good and bad. Like he essentially orchestrated a killing of lots of innocent people, which you see in the opening scene. Yeah. In that bar, and he's like, I guess you could say I'm to blame for that, but what is it now? And you see him kind of go through that transition from being the cop who killed the kid and he was 17 years old and feeling so guilty about it to the end of the first episode where he's pretty much wiped out an entire bar.
Yeah.
It's like, this is what it takes now. It's not even about good or bad anymore. It's about, what it takes.
Getting the job done.
Yeah, getting the job done, which is kind of oddly how it functions for the drug dealers as well. Like, they don't really care. They just want to get the job done and make their money, and the other guy's fighting for justice, I suppose.
Yeah, but it becomes clouded, obviously, because no one is black and white, and that's the way the world works. So so it's very promising.
We
learned a lot.
The world is not black and white.
Also learned loads about cocaine production.
I actually learned an awful lot.
I was like, I didn't know it was a leaf.
Yeah, between that, I did know that coca leaf.
No.
Yeah, that was because of my time in South America when I was in my early 20s. My gapia. What was I going to say? I've completely lost my point now. Oh yeah, I was like, between that and Breaking Bad, I think we could probably become.
Oh yeah, modern fiction is teaching the world rather how to make all sorts of drugs.
Yeah.
But don't copy the examples set in the show. That's a terrible idea.
That's a terrible idea. I wasn't taking notes.
One thing that we didn't see in the first episode, I noticed, was an awful lot of Pedro Pascal, who's probably the only notable person in the cast, and he's been on a lot of the production material for it. Pedro Pascal, who was Oberyn Martell, the Viper, and one of like the favorite characters in Game of Thrones ever.
Yeah, which we can't say too much about that because we don't want to spoil anything in Game of Thrones.
For people who haven't watched.
Yeah,
but you will love him.
Yes,
and he is a fantastic actor, and it's going to be interesting to see what he brings to this because it's already good.
Yeah, and he is, of course, the DA agent who's doing this voiceover. He's his partner in Colombia. So, it was interesting because you only saw him really at the beginning. And then I was like, oh, great, there's like Oberyn Martell or Pedro Pascal. And I completely forgot about him, I guess, because everything else was so gripping throughout. Yeah. But now it was kind of, as it got to the end, I was like, okay, great, there's more of this character to come because he was just so spellbinding in Game of Thrones. So, really want to see more of him. But as you said, there is, which is kind of nice, there's no one well known. So there's not that struggle of trying to, like as we complained about with True Detective,
Yeah.
that struggle of sort of, oh, that's kind of weird seeing that famous actor play like, this Pablo Escobar, or see even the DEA agent is Boyd Holcott, or Holbrook, yeah, which I don't know from anything. I know he's obviously worked in stuff. He's a 34-year-old actor. So.
He's been in things. He was a model turned actor, so he's one of those.
Oh no,
no, but he's good things. He was in the Skeleton Twins.
So was Jamie Dornan, though, I suppose. So.
Exactly. We'll never know. Well, we won't talk 50 Shades, but The Fall is
exactly
excellent. Yeah. But he was in the Skeleton Twins with Kristen Wiig and Bill Hader. And he's been in a few other things. Yeah. And so he is good. I actually do, I don't think he'd be cast. I think Netflix are good with their casting.
Yeah.
I've yet to come across a Netflix show that I've been like, oh, no.
You got that wrong.
You got that wrong.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to hold out hope that he carries it off. I suppose I don't really feel like he's the star. I do feel like Wagner Moria or...
Well, yeah, I was reading, I know some people were kind of annoyed the fact that the whole story was being told through like the kind of gringo DEA agent, as opposed to, like, the voiceover was kind of all been told. I can't speak, Dave. All been told from his sort of perspective, even though it doesn't really make any sense because he obviously, he's kind of got these eyes and things that he never would have seen. So
yeah,
but I suppose you kind of just have to take all that with,
it's kind of like it's
suspended disbelief or whatever.
It feels a bit like a novel in that respect. It's like, how would an author know this if it's from a certain perspective?
Yeah.
But I think you just kind of have to roll with it.
Yeah, I think it kind of makes it more accessible having him there being for me watching it anyway. I kind of, as I said, we've already pointed out that he kind of did clear up a lot of the complications by setting up the plot and the characters. But yeah, I think some people who other reviews that I've read and stuff, people weren't happy with that, but I don't know, it worked for me watching it as a viewer anyway.
Well, here's hoping that the rest of the 9 episodes in the first season are worth it. I'm already hearing rumors of the second season, so
do you think it could be reach the kind of same great heights as Breaking Bad? I mean, it's people clearly are crying out for a new drug drama. So
and there's no really gangland-y things either. I'm not sure. I hope so. Maybe I hope that it would stick to what it's good at before like exploding. But I think again, Netflix, they know what they're doing when they make these shows. That like they're very good at being like, you keep doing what you do, don't respond to the audience and what the audience wants. If you stick to your narrative and go with it, it usually pays off.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, and I actually, as you were saying, there is so much to learn in it. There's that whole period of history where our generation always assumes that you don't ever really think about when drugs actually got into America, how they kind of seeped into Western society, and seeing how it was just the 80s. It's like people were just smoking weed before then. It was all no wonder the 70s was so happy and hippie,
when everything went to pot.
Exactly. Oh, very good, very good. So, and it was also so remarkably easy to smuggle drugs back then.
Oh my god, that
was hilarious. He was like, he had this little suit jacket and he just like
puts his drugs in his jacket.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it was.
Don't try that at home, kids. It won't work.
No. So yeah, it's so far, I think, I'm definitely the first episode in. I mean, I was gripped, and there was so many kind of little shocks along the way.
Yeah.
Even like I said, the first 5 minutes, I was like, oh God, will I like this? And then, but
paid off.
Totally pays off.
And 100% was like at the end of the first episode, I was like, this is something that you could binge watch in a weekend. If you were like, I want a weekend off, want to stay in, I'm just gonna order a takeaway, have all my bits, sit down on the couch, take breaks every now and then, you would fly through this. I'd say 100%. Like, it's only 10 hours. You'd do that in 2 days. No
Definitely.
problem.
And they set up the story so well. Even at the end of the first episode, that's what I kind of like again about Netflix, is they're aware that you're going to be watching 10 episodes in a row, but they still don't deprive you of a nice cliffhanger.
Yeah.
So I love that at the end, where I guess anyone who's watched the end will know with the last words of Pablo Escobar. So it was just like, oh God, this is going to be sort of like a cat and mouse thing now, is it? So it's definitely would hugely recommend. Narcos.
Yes.
Not Narcos.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
On Netflix.
Yeah. It's out, I think it was out on August 28th, so just last week. So
some people, no wonder some people are finished it.
Some people are probably finished it, and they're like, come on, get past it already. But for those of you who are unsure whether to get into it or not, it's got our seal of approval. I know we should probably start arguing a bit over the show, but we do, I suppose.
Yeah, we have differences of opinion.
Yeah. Anyway, what is your TV pick for this week?
My TV pick of the week is a show called Unreal. And it's not like that at all. That hurts, did it?
Yeah. Why did I do that?
I have no idea.
Unreal in class.
Yeah, probably. But no, it's called Unreal. It's an American TV show that's on Lifetime here, and actually on Lifetime in America. And it stars Shiri Appleby, who you might know from Roswell. Remember the lead actress in Roswell back in the day? Is
that the girl that was also in Girls?
Yes.
Yeah, she was Adam's girlfriend before.
Yes.
Is that, I don't know, before or after? At some point before.
At one point, yeah. And it's about basically, it's a fictionalized version of working on a reality TV show similar to The Bachelor.
Okay. Which
we should know here. I think most people know The Bachelor. It exists in America. We don't really have, thank God, these dating shows here. We have Love Island the odd time and those other things like that. But
you can access them though, I think on MTV and stuff.
Yeah. I think it's familiar in culture. The Bachelor, for anyone who doesn't know what it is basically one man, 14 women, and basically week by week they get eliminated until he finds his true love.
Yes.
But of course, it's a scripted reality TV show. But back in the day, everyone and a certain level of viewer, maybe in America, would want to believe that, this man is falling in love with her, and it's a huge business. Anyway, so this is a fictionalized story of the people who work on the show and kind of behind the scenes look at what it's like to actually make a show. And it's in Unreal, it's called Everlasting, and it's exactly the same format. So it's just obviously they can't say The Bachelor. The woman who produced it, I cannot remember her name, but she actually was a producer on The Bachelor.
Yes.
So this has informed.
This is on, I remember doing a TV highlight for it recently for the site. So it was it, did they have it on Channel 4 for a while? Or did they have it? I don't know if it was Lifetime I put it up for. Anyway, sorry. It was on some other channel.
It's on a few channels. Yeah.
Maybe it was Sky. Sorry.
So she worked on the actual
so
Bachelor. So you know that all of this is legit. This is coming from her own experiences, and it's exactly. Yeah. And the other person behind it is Martin Noxon, who was on Buffy.
Oh, great!
So
I know that. I can see that name
in the font.
Font,
so she has obviously a great experience in writing for women and writing also in television and knowing how television shows are made. So between the two female producers and the two female leads and the cast involved, it's a very female-driven show. It's kind of more about the bonds and the relationships between women. Yes, they kind of revolve around, the Bachelor character and getting the men and their relationships with their men, but at the same time, it's also about business. So there's more to it than just the men and the girls and everything. Blah, blah, blah. So it goes through the motions, and each episode kind of not mirrors an episode of the TV show, but you kind of follow this week is when he's choosing the fifth girl to leave, and the task is he goes to their hometown and blah, 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 blah. So, and it's not, it follows that, but at the same time you're following Rachel, who is Shiri Appleby's character, who was disgraced in the previous season of the show and has come back because she needs to. And basically she's under the thumb of the producer, whose name is Quinn, and that's played by Constance Zimmer, who was in House of Cards and loads of other things. She's an amazing actress. And there's also the showrunner, who is the guy who invented the show, who's this disgusting rich man who's just doing drugs all the time and is real seedy. And it just basically goes behind the fourth wall of television and reality TV and kind of shows you what's actually happening on these shows. It's set formed as a scripted show. So you're it's a drama, and of course she's going to get into these situations. You're hoo.
Yeah.
But there are elements to it where you're oh my God, that definitely would happen and definitely could happen, and you're they do it in such a good way that you actually believe, you're oh my God, that does actually happen on TV shows, and that definitely happened to your one who produced it. That way they're not and I always hear those things. It's kind of what they say in Narcos. That could be the theme of this episode. That people that would say things are magic. The things that's the start of Narcos. That people believe the most magical thing is something that they can't explain, but it actually does happen. So it kind of feels some of the things that are the worst and most abhorrent things that people say and do in making this Bachelorette or Bachelor show are probably other things that really happened in real life.
Magical realism.
Yes. So its finale is on next Tuesday, so you probably have a bit of catching up to do if you wanted to get into it, and my recommendation. But I imagine if it's on Living and Lifetime, it might be on demand.
Yeah, I'd say it would be. It's definitely easy to access.
Yes.
I've heard a lot of people talking about it. So,
it's very, very good. It's been renewed for a second season.
Great.
Even though it didn't hit the ratings heights that people had hoped in the States, it actually, but I think the critical responses have been so good.
Yeah.
And personally, I was yes, more of this, because it just it's so dark at times. But having done a little bit of work in reality TV myself, I'm no, that does happen, and that's exactly what they do. And watching producers take people and just mold them into what they want for the TV show to be, and be as cold and manipulative as it takes to make this lovely, clean, clear TV show that people want to believe shows two people falling in love.
Yeah.
It's just watching the machinations and watching everyone else like run around and even try to out manipulate each other. It's a little Game of Thronesian at times.
Yeah.
It's like people are doing different things and trying to outwit each other. But there's also heart, and you see them like struggling. But it's very, very good.
Yeah.
So it's highly recommended, and it finishes this week. So catch up.
Yeah, it's it sounds really interesting in that whole thing of like, I guess people are so fascinated by reality TV, but then it's like taking it to that next level. It's like, you know, one day they'll probably have a show of like the people behind Big Brother and, you know, the drama that happens in their lives.
And I would watch the hell out of that show.
I would watch the hell out of that too, but it's so funny. It feels somehow that like we've kind of, I don't know, not met out. I don't know where it's like we've kind of jumped in through the TV somehow more again. Like, you know, we wanted reality shows, and now we need to see the reality behind the reality shows.
Yeah.
We actually like them in a dramatic form, really, because I don't know, it's just gone to like way too far. But then at the same time, it also sounds crazy entertaining.
Yeah. At the same time, we still have reality TV, and we still like to sit down and watch these scripted reality TV shows.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And it is so funny how much scripting does go into the, you know, like even things like the Bake Off and like all the kind of stuff, the editing that goes into it to kind of orchestrate like a narrative throughout, like people baking cakes. It's just insane. So yeah, I have to catch up on that, and I will look forward to watching the finale when I do catch up.
Good.
My TV pick for the week is a fairly obvious one, but you know, Feckish, we did a whole special on X Factor. We can definitely give a nod towards Strictly Come Dancing.
And I'm not going to lie, I am a massive Strictly fan.
Are you?
I'm a massive Strictly fan. I love Strictly. I never like plan on getting into it. I'm always like, because every time I hear the celeb lineup, I'm like, I don't really care. Not really interested in that. Yeah. And then I'm like, watching them dance. Yeah. I love watching people dance. It's so pathetic. I actually feel like it's a part of my brain that just wants to be numbed by the mediocrity of like bland reality. Like the puns and the cheese of Strictly is awful, but I love it, and I love watching people dance. I don't know what it is. It's real, just like it's fulfilling in some weird way.
I do like it. I always was such a bigger fan of Dancing on Ice.
Oh my god, I can't.
I loved when they were, because I don't know, I guess I'm fascinated with people who can ice skate. I'm not so good at it, but I don't know, I always found that really fascinating. But even since I was a kid, I used to always be fascinated with watching it in the Olympics, like Torval and Dee back in the day, and like everything like that. So I think, I was really, really into Dancing on Ice. Strictly Come Dancing, I feel like I should be more into it, but it never really grips me the same way as X Factor does. I'm not ever like, you know, kind of waiting week by week for it, but saying that, I know there are countless people that do, and sure, it tops ratings over X Factor.
Absolutely, yeah.
And will probably this year as well. So I guess we may as well go through some of the lineup, because it's taken me forever to print off the sheets to get all of them. So some of them we can just pass on over, because we don't even care who gives a crap if some of them are. But the most important person has to be wee Daniel O'Donnell.
Oh, wee Daniel.
Wee Daniel.
I thought
it was described as a crooner and a TV presenter. Like,
or what?
It was like in the article
crooner.
I read, like Irish crooner and TV presenter. I'm like, crooner? He's no bleeding crooner. He's, you know,
he's one of our most successful exports.
He's our whatever nation's national treasure. So yeah, Donegal and Daniel O'Donnell will be stepping. It's just so bizarre, isn't it?
I kind of feel like Daniel O'Donnell has like vanished, and it's like this could be like a robo Daniel O'Donnell, because now he's just back in our minds, back in our lives.
Maybe Daniel O'Donnell will become cool somehow?
No, that's never going to happen.
No, like he could be reinvented, like the Hoff or something. You know, the Dawn. No. Have I gone too far?
I think so. You've tumbled down a rabbit hole, and I don't know if it's a safe place to be.
I hope it is, because I really want him to go far, and I really want him to do well. You can't help but root for him. He seems like such a lovely man.
He does have a massive fan base.
He never went crazy off the rails with all the fame.
You really like Daniel O'Donnell, really don't you?
My mammy does.
Okay. See, I don't think anyone... I know no one I know is a massive Daniel fan, but maybe that's because...
You don't know anyone over the age of 60?
Or any time it comes up, I'm so... whatever, that people just don't want... It's that thing of keeping it internal.
Yeah.
Kind of like Garth Brooks, where people would never have talked about it until there were 5 concerts.
400,000 tickets.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway,
the wall.
he will do well in the show, because he's got a massive fan base in the UK. So he'll be on it for a while. Yeah. Whether or not he can dance remains to be seen.
Yeah.
How old is Daniel O'Donnell?
Oh God, Jesus, I'd say he's late 50s.
Okay.
That's what I'd say.
He's looking well for late 50s.
I can't imagine he could be 60, could he?
I don't know. Anyway,
maybe, I'm sure.
So he's the biggest Irish name, I suppose, and the person that we would be watching on it.
Yeah. There's also Peter Andre,
which will be interesting.
Yeah.
Well, will it?
Well, only interesting if he does sort of what Carlton from Fresh Prince did in the American version of
Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, Dancing with the Stars, which would be if he did his Mysterious Girl.
So if he does some callbacks to Mysterious Girl, and what was his other song?
What did he have? Another song?
I have no idea. I'm sure I feel like he was around for a reason, but I can only remember Mysterious Girl.
He married the other girl?
He did.
Jordan. That's what brought him back. I'm a Celebrity brought him back into the
True.
Yeah.
But anyway. Peter
so
Andre's in there. He can dance. So I kind of always feel like it's a bit of an unfair advantage
I'd
when
say
the pop
he'll go
stars
far
come in.
because he's well enough. Well, I suppose it kind of depends what generation is watching it. For us, we'd probably know him well, but for like other people of the Daniel O'Donnell fan age, they'd probably be like, who's this young fella? You know?
Yeah.
So I think he'll be interesting enough on it though. The other ones there is Kirsty Gallagher, who's Sky Sports News broadcaster.
Oh, Kirsty! I haven't heard from her in years, but that's because I think she probably just only does Sky Sports News, and I don't
I'd say
engage with
big
that.
enough following now.
Oh yeah, she'll do well.
Girl,
yeah, she will do well. There's always like
and
the Rachel
person as well,
exactly, like the Rachel Rileys of the world, who always do well on these shows to a point, because it then becomes a popularity contest and like who is the prettiest.
Yeah,
you know that way. It always comes down to that.
This guy is a marathon runner. He's called Ewan Thomas.
Is he Welsh?
He presents the One Show.
Is he Welsh? Did he win gold for the Olympics?
Yeah, we'll say he did.
I'm thinking, is he blonde?
Yeah.
I think that's the guy who won the gold for the Olympics.
I think it is too.
I think it's an Olympian.
That seems right.
Okay.
Call the Midwife, Helen George.
Gonna show me a picture. You gotta show me a picture.
She looks like she could have been in Not Called the Midwife.
She
looks
like she could have been in lots of things. I'd never watched the show.
Yeah, I didn't. Actually, I did watch it a bit. It was pretty good. I only saw some episodes of it. It's God, what's her name? The tall lady, Miranda. You know, the comedian.
Oh, comedian Miranda.
Miranda Hart.
Yes.
Yeah. She's kind of in it.
Miranda sings, I wanted to say, but that's definitely not.
Then Jamelia's in it, who was, haunted our doorstep for long, not our personal doorstep, but was on The Voice of Ireland for a few years.
Oh!
Yeah, so she's taken to the dance floor now.
It probably worked. That just speaks volumes of how much of a flop The Voice of Ireland is.
I know.
Doesn't it? It's like I can go and be a judge in a talent show, and my career still goes, bleh.
Yeah.
But if I get on Strictly, there's going to be a huge bump in interest in me, because that's what it is now.
She's also a host on Loose Women, which no one ever gets to see because
we all have jobs.
And
also because it's a terrible show.
Some of us don't have jobs, but then, I mean, obviously we both.
Who else is
verbal
there?
diarrhea.
Yeah.
This podcast. Country File presenter Anita Rani. Don't care.
Yeah. I'm sure she's lovely, and I'm sure she can dance. But we don't care.
Former The Wanted bandmate Jay McGuinness.
Oh, the unattractive one, isn't it?
He looks pretty unattractive. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no.
Fine head of hair on him though.
Fine head of hair, but he's not going to do. Well, you never know. He could do what your man from Judd from McFly did, and he ended up being a turbo ride and like winning the show because he no, you can't though. He just looks greasy. Sorry. Mr. Wanted McGuinness.
Boxer Anthony Ogogo.
Oh, there's always someone who actually no, he should be lighting his feet. I imagine
he won bronze at the 2012 Olympics.
I just imagine being a boxer lighting their feet. But
you need rhythm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know this from all the Rocky movies I've watched.
You are a big Rocky fan.
Yeah. They do need rhythm. So yeah. Then we have Daniel, who's 53.
53. Okay, yeah. We said late 50s.
Late 50s.
53. He
looks 53. I feel like he's been around our whole entire lives, that he must be.
And we're ancient.
We're ancient. Oh, yeah. So old.
Is that it? Is there 12?
There's Peter Andre. No, there's Carol Kirkwood, who's BBC Breakfast weather presenter. So many of these we just wouldn't know.
I feel like it's a bit of a dud year.
Yeah. Oh, well, I always feel like that when I'm like... I think it just depends what you're watching.
True.
But say for, I don't know, people in England, I'm sure they probably would know who she is.
What else?
It'd be kind of like, the random celebrities we have here. Katie Durham, BBC Proms presenter.
No.
This girl I like. She was in Coronation Street. She's Georgia May Foote. Now, she was a bit bland in Coronation Street.
Show me.
She's very pretty, but the printout's really bad. She played the girl that was married to Chesney, or had a baby with Chesney.
Oh, I'm aware vaguely of that plot line, but I do not know.
I can't believe it's not Michelle Keegan. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So good. They'll have that audience.
And then for other EastEnders fans, they'll be. I say this lady will do very well. It's Kelly Bright who plays actress Linda Carter in EastEnders. Now Linda Carter is very popular. She had a huge storyline this year involving an assault with her nephew, and she's won loads of awards, like national TV awards.
Okay, so she's probably one of the finalists.
So she's well known, and considering she's in EastEnders, she's definitely
gone
to
to drama school and can dance.
Literally has 2 left feet. She should go far.
No.
Ainsley Harriott, everyone knows him, TV chef guy, ready steady cook.
Oh my god, I'd forgotten he existed.
He was more sort of 90s noughties, but he's back.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Obviously, I can't. Well, obviously, the first one's going to be there's going to be some sort of chef-related dance or some sort of kitchen mambo or
kitchen hat, I'd imagine. Yeah. And then
That's
this
so
is the
naff.
last one I have. Yes, it is. Jeremy Vine, TV presenter and journalist. You can't see him there. He's like a ghost in that picture.
God, he does look like he kind of looks like a bit like I want to say Ray Fiennes, but I could be looking at a very, very poorly printed.
We're
photo.
going to need to watch it. It's on Saturday anyway on BBC One, kicking off at 8 o'clock. I'm pretty sure it's 8 o'clock. I meant to check.
It could be earlier.
X Factor's not till 8:15, so I don't know if
I have a feeling it starts at 7, but it goes till 9.
Yeah.
Especially with these first
And
episodes, there's so much in it.
Exactly. So they'll be
But we could be
introducing
wrong.
all the contestants, and then of course we'll get to see who they're paired with.
Yes.
The professional dancers.
And Brucey's back.
Brucey's back, but not for this series.
Oh.
He's only back as for the Christmas special, and he's back for the Children in Need special.
Okay. Well, look.
Because he's 86.
Yeah, we can't put too many demands on him.
But the two, Claudia Winkleman and Tess Daly, are doing a stand-up job.
They're fantastic, and I'm delighted Claudia Winkleman has gotten more primetime viewing because she has like really good comedy timing.
Yeah.
Like she and is aware enough that like Strictly is ridiculous, but toes the line of being like taking the piss out of how nonsensical it is and how like wholesome and twee it is, but also fulfills the like need for the like to actually deliver the lines in the show and keep it entertaining.
Yeah,
She's
absolutely. So yeah, they're brilliant, and obviously Brucey is, always nice to see him. Nice. Oh god.
Yeah.
Kill us now.
And the same 4 judges are back, is it?
They're all back, yeah,
Okay.
all the heads.
So it's not like X Factor,
the same,
it's reliable.
Yeah, exactly. They don't try to mix it up. I think X Factor are just desperate at this point to kind of change things up a bit.
Yeah.
So, we'll see how that goes. We've talked enough about that. That's in last week's podcast.
Yeah, if you want to check it out.
So I guess, who do you think out of all those heads, from what we know, which is nothing about their dancing capabilities,
Yeah.
but I guess in a situation of popularity, who do you think would go far enough?
Oh, okay. Peter Andre, definitely.
Yeah.
You're one from EastEnders. You're one from Corrie, because they just have fan bases, especially if they can dance. The guy from the band will have girls voting for him to a certain extent, but I mean, that hair is enough to like get him out in the first week, if you ask me.
Yeah.
I think they're top 4. Maybe the boxer. I'd love the boxer to do well.
Mr. Agogo.
Yeah, you and Rian. I don't know that's what you said.
Yeah,
that's your man from Game of Thrones.
marathon guy.
But maybe he does rhythm.
Yeah, or the Sky News, Kirsty
Gallagher.
Yeah, she could do well as also. I'm trying to think out of all that. Who do you think will go the first week? Because they're usually easy to spot.
Probably the person who we didn't just know who they were and we've forgotten their name already.
Yeah, exactly. Which I can't remember who they are.
I'm sure
now.
maybe the weather girl or someone who's the proms girl. I don't know.
Proms girl, yeah.
I don't
maybe.
know.
Yeah.
We'll have to see.
I have this,
it's
good
not in
feeling.
our hands. It's in the hands of the British public.
Yes,
thank God.
Exactly.
There can never
Harriet,
ever be an Irish version of this. Thank God.
They will try.
They have tried for like charity before.
They've tried charity ones, but it feels inevitable that we will eventually give it a go. I don't know why we haven't already.
Probably because there aren't enough Irish celebrities to fill a bloody
They'll just get
roster.
Linda Martin in. She's jack of all trades now.
I know, but and then how many like
Louis Walsh needs a job.
oh my God, Louis Walsh does need a job.
Yeah, but he can't dance for shit. Well, actually, he can because of the
He can
Cadbury's
judge.
ad.
He can judge.
We can see him in the Cadbury's ad.
I know, but
Yeah.
he can judge.
Say more Cadbury's. They might send more in.
Oh yeah, Cadbury's.
Okay, that is it for another podcast. I think unless there's anything you would like to add, Mr. O'Shaughnessy.
I'd like to take this point to tell the world that I'm running for president in 2020.
Oh, so funny. Yes. Like Kanye West.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a reference there
I get
now.
it. Pop culture reference.
Pop culture on the nose.
Yeah, on the nose. Yeah. You're a few days late, but it's okay. Okay. Very well done. Okay, that's it for another episode of The Guide.
And we'll probably, hopefully...
Yeah, we will be back next week. And if you want to listen to any of the other ones we have done, we've done.
We did done one.
Just stop talking now.
Yeah.
We did one on True Detective. We did one on X Factor. And yeah, there's plenty more to look back on if you are enjoying them. And if you're not, then just, whatever. Go away. Don't care.
Eat one.
Yeah.
So yeah, hit subscribe if you want to hear more.
Yeah.
YouTube, SoundCloud, Stitcher, iTunes, they're all the places to find everything you need to do. We also have more podcasts from the entertainment.ie family, including The Manual, which features Mike Sheridan, and The Insider, which is Brian Lloyd.
They didn't even ask us to plug this. We're just doing
We're doing it out of the kindness of our own
I hope
hearts.
they plug ours.
I bet you they don't.
I mean, we should know because we listen to them all.
I mean, we listen so avidly, and I know that they don't.
I actually have listened to a lot of them because I'm here listening to them when they're recording. I should just stop talking now.
We should.
Okay, yeah, let's just leave it there.
Next week. Bye.
Next week.